Alright, January day 2. Let's take a look under the hood and see what's going on in this track. Alright, so today's jam was pretty simple, but I'll just run through some of the stuff here. So we got the kick, snare, and the hi-hat here. These drums were all made with Massive, so you can see I've got Massive and a Camel Crusher on each one. And for the snare, I've also got a room reverb and a gate. So if I turn those off, that's just Massive and Camel Crusher. If I turn the snare room on, and then I have the gate. And one thing that I did with the snare gate to make each one a little bit different is I automated the threshold so that some of them come through more and some of them come through less. And it's just a tiny way to get variation without changing the actual sample, but just by changing the amount of reverb that gets through the gate. So the kick and Massive is 3 oscillators, all layered an octave apart, with a really quick attack on them just for some punch, and a bit of white noise also. And then envelope 1 is also going to the low pass filter, so here's what it sounds like in different variations. So there it is without the low pass. Here it is without the other 2 oscillators. Almost the same, but not quite as punchy, I guess. And here it is without the noise. You can almost not even hear that. And then a bit of dimension expander. The snare's no oscillators, it's just a little bit of white noise. And I've got the same sort of thing where it's a fairly quick envelope attack. And that's hitting the amp, but it's also hitting the color. Makes it sound a little bit more natural, like a snare, because if you hit a snare, it would vibrate faster at first and then slow down a bit. And so the color automates that if we turn that off. Subtle, I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter at all. And then also dimension expander. And then the hi-hat is just metallic noise. And then I've got a step sequencer set to an 8th note, changing the color of the hi-hat sound. If we were to change this, you'll hear like the metallic sound is really great for hi-hats. If we change it to just white noise, it sounds a lot less like a hi-hat. And then production-wise, this one isn't too crazy. One sound I was pretty proud of was the this like lead sound. I was kind of going for a theremin thing with it. Most of that actually comes from the RC20 Retro Color plugin. It's kind of like a nice lo-fi plugin. And I use the VHS setting on this. And you can hear like without it. And with it. So it gives it a lot of nice character. And then other than that stuff, there's not too much else going on. It's just a bunch of sort of random synth stuff. It's a bunch of instances of Massive. I've got the Korg M1 going, which is a really, really great synth for like 80s and 90s sounds. And there's tons and tons and tons of stuff in there, organs and brass and bass and woodwinds and keyboards. And a lot of these sounds are really, really fantastic, and I love that. I've got Serum here, another M1. But yeah, it's just basically a bunch of instances of Massive and Serum and M1. So this track in general was just sort of more about layering instruments together and less about the production of it, though there's, you know, a bit of production stuff with the drums. Yeah, it's pretty simple, nothing to it. But yeah, I guess if you have any questions, just toss them in the comments and I'll reply to you again.